all climbing some kind of mountain in our lives, so we invite you to take a rest from whatever mountain you're climbing.
And come visit the South Mountain.
We came from Baltimore. We lived in the city for almost 20 years and worked very different jobs. I was an immigration attorney for a nonprofit, and Matt worked at Habitat for Humanity as a builder. And we have 4 kids, and so we started to really think about what we wanted this season of our life to look like. And it took us about 2 years to figure that out. We had always wanted to work together. Matt suggested maybe a bed and breakfast, but we had no idea how to do that with kids because normally people live in the building. We started looking around in the Pennsylvania, Maryland area for an inn that we could buy and stumbled upon this place, literally. Found this place listed, and it wasn't being sold as a business, it was just being sold as a house. But the last line of the Zillow ad said currently being run as a bed and breakfast. We came to see the property and saw that there was a carriage house on the property that we could turn into our own home, and so our kids could have some separation from guests. And we also just saw the nature, the view out front, and the sycamore lined driveway, and it was just something that my soul just needed to be in nature, and this seemed like a great fit for us and our family.
Our oldest son was 10, and our youngest was 3, and I just kind of woke up and realized that we had such a limited time where they were all going to be like in our house with us. So if we're going to make a change in life, let's go for it now. And so we did, but it was a major change. It was a real uprooting and trying something new.
This part of Wernersville and South Heidelberg Township used to be the home of 8 resorts back in the 1800s and early 1900s. And people would take the train into Wernersville and then take carriages up the mountain. And originally they were sanitariums for people who had TB and who needed the fresh mountain air. And this is an aquifer up here, so there were all these springs. And that's how they kind of marketed it. And then people would come up here for healing. Karen, that used to be called Chit Chat Farms, and it was a man who was an alcoholic himself and just started inviting people just to chit chat, to talk about their struggles. Those simple conversations grew into what Karen is now, and Karen kind of continued that history of healing. And we had just lost a friend to addiction. A really close friend of ours had passed away, and because of our work in the nonprofit world, and then losing our friend, and then wanting to do a bed and breakfast or an inn, and then finding this place that was serving this drug and alcohol treatment center, it really seemed like everything came together.
It was a private residence all the way up until the couple before us, who he was a Karen alum, and he had a vision for this place to be just a great location for families who were connected to Karen, families who were visiting to have a place to stay. And so they started it as a bed and breakfast, and they ran it for close to 10 years, and then we picked it up after them about 4 years ago.
And we have expanded it, so we do serve, families still who are visiting Karen, but we also serve anybody who's traveling and wants to stay at an inn, a couple who wants to get away. We want to be part of that history of healing, and we changed the name of the inn to the South Mountain Inn because we wanted to connect to that history. We all have something in our life that we're dealing with, and we all need a break, we all need a rest, and to be refreshed.
There's just a substance to them, and a humility and a generosity and a warmth, and some of the things that I don't think we talk about the spiritual nature or the sacred nature of hospitality enough, and how much that can have an impact on the people that are receiving the hospitality. And so the contribution I felt they have made for me without, they've held beautiful boundaries, they give me my privacy here, and yet they've been available and open if I want to talk, and they've given me all tips for the region and all those things, but there's also something deeper in who they are and in the land here that I think they're tending to so beautifully. That has been a healing field. It's been a real healing field. So I feel like I'm leaving the better for having met them and for having been here.
This place has provided so much healing and renewal to me personally, just being here on this mountain, through the stories of the history, through the stories of people who've been through Karen, just through the view, the wildlife. I just hope that there's just a ton of people coming through these doors who have the opportunity to experience what we've experienced by living here. Take that minute to pause and to reflect on what they want their life to look like in whatever season they're in. Because I don't think we always stop and allow ourselves to really think, what do I want in this season of my life? Like, what do I really want? And give ourselves permission to ask that question and then to just go for it, whatever it is. And I really hope this place becomes a place where people can just stop for a minute and really think about what they want, and then to be able to put aside some of those fears and just leap